Hi everybody, how are you? This is a re-recording of the last video that I made. Uh, I had to regroup, y'all. I really had to just take a step back and get myself together. So, um, it's easy to, lose your focus. So I just needed a time out. Um, and there was no real way to recover the voice or the sound. So I had to do it over again, and maybe it just wasn't the right time. Not sure. But here we go. Um, so my first encounter or conscious encounter that I had with my method was at the first service I think that my mother did at the house. And I was 7 years old at the time. And, being born here in America, you don't really come across that too often. So I just didn't even get what was going on. Um, and towards the end of the night, um, this woman, calls me over and, someone is interpreting and they're like, oh, you know, you're my child. And I'm just looking at her like, who are you? And what are you talking about? I just didn't get it at the time. Um, and it probably wasn't until a little bit later on when I started getting sick. Um, I had a couple of episodes that I would, see her in my dreams and she kind of let herself be known to me. And I think it was just kind of like, it started my journey definitely, but it kind of was a wake up call to my mother. Because again, being here in the States, there's some you can get caught up. Um, being on that paper chase, you can you can get caught up. So I started getting sick, and for some people really don't get it. Like they're like, what is up with this whole voodoo thing, whatever. My experience. Thank God for me. I have not been hospitalized. Even when I was having my episodes, like my mother kind of knew, or she really didn't have a choice because they were kind of like coming back and forth and letting her know this was more of a spiritual kind of thing. Um, I haven't, been hospitalized, so that's not what I knew in terms of healing, and kind of like what led me to, study Chinese medicine and things of that nature, acupuncture and stuff like that. Because a lot of the experiences that I had younger, those were kind of like the choices that my mother made with me, and not acupuncture because we went back to Haiti. So um uh back to this MedTet thing. I hope I didn't lose sight of what I was trying to say earlier. Oh, um yeah, that was kind of like my encounter with my MedTet was through dreams and her, letting herself be known. And then I started, asking more questions, and then, my spiritual kind of journey um began. Um and the few encounter well, I take that back. I said few, it's not few, but the ones that I can recall right now have been eye-opening and enriching for me, and kind of like a confirmation, really, like this is real. Because it's one of those experiences like I've it seemed like I woke up, but it didn't seem like it's possible to wake up because the experience feels so real. It's kind of like one of those deja vu things, you know. That's the best way that I could describe it. It's like something that I've done before, but it just feels so real that it's kind of like ironic, you know. One dream I had where like, let's say, like, there was this yellow paper and there was this thing that I wanted, and I saw, like, the shape, the form of a person, come into the room, and she put it down onto, like, my vanity, and it was like a yellow piece of paper. And when I woke up from the dream, um it was like somebody bringing a message to me, and they put it on a piece of paper or whatever, and it was yellow. It really was yellow, and put it down on the paper, and I mean on the vanity, and walked out. And when I woke up, I received the phone call, and I wrote it down on a piece of paper. And it wasn't until maybe a few minutes after, because I don't like to, when I first wake up, for me to just, I like to take a few minutes to kind of like process, what's going on around me and my environment, just to kind of like listen, and to just, take some information in, you know what I mean? Breathe, and before I start my day. And so the call on that particular day, kind of is like what woke me up. And I wrote down the message on the piece of paper, and then, as I'm like laying down and, you know, going through my little what just happened, it dawned on me that the piece of paper really was yellow. The same one that I saw in the dream. And I knew it was her because of, of course, I went and had talked and did my whole spiel before, my altar work. And, she let me know it was her. And it's like, your Metet is kind of like your genie. Yeah, that's how I would describe it, because the way that I think some refer to it, here, is your head angel. But it's easy when some hear the word angel, they think of like this benevolent spirit, like it's all benevolence. But I study Chinese medicine. Here it goes on my wrist. Can you see that? Got it tattooed on me, right? So, um, and there's this yin and yang aspect. You know what I mean? Like, as much as, yeah, there's that good, of course, there's that benevolence, there's also that malevolent side. Um, so where was I? um, so your genie, it's like your own. I like to think of your metet. They refer to um your what you would call the head angel, or your, what they would call in Haitian voodoo, your metet, as the master of the head. And I like to think of it as like, imagine, think of having your own genie. Right? That's not so bad, right? It's like, your wish is my command. You know, I think of, like, we have a contract when we come back into this when we come back at birth. Um if you've ever seen a birth, right? Because I just finished taking these courses um as a doula. And my great grandmother was a midwife, and my grandmother, the work that she kind of did when she was here, um, in the States, in America, is kind of like, is equivalent to a doula. So um, I took these courses, and if you've ever seen like a woman give birth, it's crazy. It's like the mothership has landed, right? And then this baby comes. It's crazy. Then this baby comes out, and oh God, the things that our body can do, it's so awesome, right? So we have, I like to think that we have like this contract when at birth. And our method kind of uh reminds us of what it is that we're here to do. And it's ironic because some of the attributes that your metet has really kind of highlights um some of the characteristics that you have as well. um I like to call it as like the three P's. You know, they have like the genie has the three wishes, but I like to call it like the Metet has like the three P's. They protect, they provide, and profess. And you know, a lot the profession that you will go to is like a reflection of, you know, this dynamic that you have, you know, with you in your head, your Metet. Um, but I think something that is key is that um you are in control of your life. Um, Although you may have the master of the head, I really would say not only are like they like to play this role of the genie, but also like your first ranking officer. So it's that you're working with them. Maybe they have unfinished business on earth, something that they have to fulfill, and then you're like a chosen, you know, I don't want to say vessel, but like you have those talents that, you know, can help them to finish that particular business, as well as, you know, you fulfilling that contract. um because there is this spiritual side, I think, that is overlooked here in America. You know, everything is, you know, conscious, 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 and that subconscious side is kind of hogwash or whatever. You know, America is really founded on like Christian values, and you know, anything that is not Christian seems to be whatever. Um Christian values. Uh but I mean, I'm not knocking it. I don't want to seem like I'm knocking America or anti-American. I was born here and there's great opportunity, but I think like that spiritual side is kind of like neglected. And and it is a part. It is a part. So, yeah. I think there's a little exercise. Um, hmm, 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 hmm. The exercise goes a little something like this. Uh, First, you know, ask and you will receive. That's what they say, right? We have a genie. so, so start asking. But first you need to establish that relationship, right? So who is your med tech? That's first and foremost. Oftentimes the none, they will let themselves be known to you who they are. Um, I've had dreams, you know, earlier on, and then was able to find out, you know, more information. Um, but who's your meta? And then the other one is, what do they represent? What do they represent? Right? What are some of the attributes? And how does this relate to your life? So big, so big. Hmm. How does this relate to your life? And this kind of like hit me just the other day, right? Just the other day or a few days ago, because I was thinking about, my childhood, and I'm like, oh my God, I was exposed to so much violence as a child. It is unbelievable. I was exposed to so much violence. And, now I find myself gravitating towards, working with people who have been subjected to domestic violence. You know, Children are a big part of it. Um, just because of my childhood, so I could definitely relate. And then when I think of, my method, it's like it all aligns, like it's in alignment. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, working with people, and men are subjected to domestic violence too. It's not just women. Children, they're innocent. They're just coming into the world, and I love children, so I kind of grab. I feel so strongly about that, but when I think about it, it comes like full circle, and then you know I would want. I see how um, beneficial it would be to work with my method, and how helpful my method would be in that particular work, or that particular career or profession. Um, so yeah, have a divination done. Um, Me personally, I in order to do that, I would like the person to be there face to face. I think that's the best way to go, to do readings and things of that nature. So if it is something that is of interest to you, or, feel free to inbox me and we'll work something out. But yeah, that's a good exercise to do. Who who is your method? What do they represent? And how does this relate to your life? I'm telling you. Once it was kind of like an epiphany, really. Um, Once I was able to go through that particular exercise. Uh, okay. So hopefully that was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, post any comments. Feel free to inbox me with any questions, or if I missed something, um, let me know. Okay, so the next part is routine, daily routine. Okay. What would I say? It's spending time in nature, spending time with nature, uh, is important. Um, I like to walk. So that's my way of clearing my head, and, that's my outlet. I like to walk, and I found this bicycle route in my neighborhood, and it's so, oh my God, it's for me it's great because it's like surrounded by trees, and then you see the birds, the red jays, the blue jays, and the birds come out, and the ducks in the water, and I'm a tree hugger and love trees and things like that, and it just gives me a little bit of everything, all the elements, earth, fire, all of it. I said earth, fire, earth, water, all of it. I get a little bit of it all because it has those overpasses, and so great, so scenic, and just, gives me thing fills me up. So doing one of those things, whatever exercise that you do, so that's exercise is key. Um, so spending time in nature, spending time with nature. I also have a garden, and now, you know, the weather is accommodating of having, like a garden. So I'm the flower child. So I went out and, planted some flowers and, um, yeah. And after, I've done that, um, coming back home and, um, they say you are what you eat, right? So one of my teachers said this to me, and I really found it to be profound. I never really thought about it. Um, she says, like your breakfast in the morning, it consists of like break fast, right? So it's like, because you were sleeping, when you're sleeping, you're not eating, you're not doing anything, right? And they say fasting is, well, it used to be, that you could just fast on water alone and not necessarily because of the environment and blah, blah, blah. But that first meal that you take in into the morning, if you're breaking a fast, would you really want to take in something that's like heavy and greasy and fried? Like, you know, you are what you eat. So you know what I mean? Like you want to take in something that is going to nourish your body and replenish you. So, water, 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 water. First cup, you having that first cup of water, it's so helpful to kind of get your body started. Um, and, maybe some fruit or some tea. And after, doing that, then you can go into, you know, um, altar work and meditating. Um, Prayer gives you an opportunity to speak, um, and meditation allows you to take in, just be still, being quiet, and to just listen. Just listen. You're always on the move. We're always on the grind. So just take some time to just take it in. When I wake up in the morning, I don't really like to, jump out of the bed and blah blah blah. Take some time and to just, what does it feel like? We have we have another chance to do this thing. You know what I mean? Another chance at life, another opportunity every day that you wake up. There's another opportunity where you can, just get things right. So just taking that time out. And then, after you've done that, you've done your altar work or whatever, you can get started on your day. And I think that about sums it up, sums it up. But, you know, your body is a temple and your altar is your heart. So, you know, think about that. That's it. I think that's it for today. Really, this time. That's it for this particular video. If I missed anything, or if you have any questions, please feel free to inbox me. Any comments, leave it below. Subscribe, and until next time, take care. Bye for now.